Yeah, viewers and subscribers. It's me again, Coach's Desk here. Yeah, gonna talk a little football as the thumbnail suggests. English Premier League, one of the best leagues out there in Europe. You know what I mean? The other leagues, good leagues with some good teams. But I mean, the English Premier League is the best league because I would crown it the best league because of the competitive nature of the league. So, viewers and subscribers, just tune in. For the persons who are logging in right now, welcome to the Coach's Desk, Sunday afternoon live. Just gonna talk some football. But before we get into the football discussion, persons online, just share the live, share the live, share the live, like up the live so that we can get more persons on so we can have a good footballing discussion this afternoon. So, viewers and subscribers, yes, share up the live, share the live, share the live, share the live. Because we want to get this discussion on. Just finished watching a game. Entire weekend was all about football. Yeah. Just finished watching a game. Very interesting game. Yeah, we know the result. But don't want to get into that yet. Facebook is blowing up because there's a bit of sad news on in the footballing world right now. There is this Manchester City or former Manchester City academy player in Jeremy Whitson or Whitsten. We understand that it is alleged that he took his life due to depression of being released from Manchester City. So you know that was heartrending, and can you believe he was only 17 years old? So it's a sad story out there right now in the footballing world. So prayers goes out to his family members and friends and former teammates. You know what I mean? That must be heartrending right now for a youngster to leave this earth like that. You know, so just want to take a moment of silence for the youngster. All right, may light shine on him perpetually. So yeah, we are here to talk football, like I said earlier. So some games that we had over the weekend. Just gonna give you a rundown of the scores. In the early game, West Ham United, they drew 1-1 with Manchester City. Persons are saying out there now that City is not playing well and Pep Guardiola's time is up. But I mean, every team goes through their own struggles every season. And of course, this season has been, well, the back end of last season coming into this season has been a tough one for all the teams. Nevertheless, football has to go on. You know what I mean? Crystal Palace playing pretty well also. They edged Fulham 1-0. They're at 2-1 at home. The big game on was Manchester United versus Chelsea, and that game ended in a 0-0 stalemate. A lot of expectations for that game. Both coaches wanted a win. However, I believe that they settled for the draw based on how things panned out. I heard Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying that if they had the fans in the stadium, that would have motivated the team more, or would have been the 12th man to push the team on to eke out that win yesterday against Chelsea. Well, all we can say is what could have been, but it was a 0-0 stalemate. Liverpool, the defending champions, they played Sheffield United. Pretty decent game. It was a very exciting game. Sheffield United is not a team that we can take lightly in this league. However, the true champions really stepped up. It was a hard fought victory for Liverpool. They edged Sheffield again 2-1. So a win there in the win column for Liverpool again. It doesn't matter how they got that win, they still came out winners. The high flying Everton early this morning, would expected them to stretch their lead atop of the table. However, they were humbled 2-0 by a Southampton team. You know, that indeed is a interesting result, and that is the result that I'm talking about, which makes the English Premier League one of the best leagues in the world, in Europe. You know what I mean? We have Wolverhamptons and Newcastle playing to a 1-1 draw. And the game of the day, Arsenal versus Leicester City. And the viewers and subscribers, Leicester City came out 1-0 winner through a Jamie Vardy wonderfully taken goal. Coming off a calf injury. It's the first time Leicester have been winning away to Arsenal for many, many, many years. So it was a bit historic for Leicester City. You know, it was a good win, and actually it put them up in the top 4. And all of us knew how Leicester occupied the top 4 spot for many weeks, many days. And in the latter part of the season, they had some challenges. They started to lose game. They lost more than how they would have won. So I believe that Leicester City is rearing to go to take back that Champions League spot. We still have 2 more games to be played coming up tomorrow. Still have games to be played in the Premier League. Of course, we have Brighton going up against West Brom and Burnley going up against Tottenham. So, viewers and subscribers, we're here talking about the best league in the world, you know what I mean? So, let me see if I could get my good friend on. We can have a little talk about what is happening in the English Premier League. Yes. Waiting. Seem to be busy at the time. But people share the live. I want some persons to come on and could talk some football. Yeah. Exciting footballing weekend. Yeah. But the English Premier League, man, it's second to none. In other leagues, you'd have like 2 teams, a few teams, probably 3 the most, running away or competing for the top spot. But in the English Premier League, you always have, on any given day, one of those top 6 teams that can lose a game. As a matter of fact, they used to talk about the top 4, and because of what has transpired throughout the years, so it would have been no top 6 rather than top 4. So I tell you, Premier League, Premier League, Premier League in England. So we have some teams to watch. The Everton team there. I don't know what happened to them this morning. You have the Aston Villa team. They were humbled as well. By Leeds, yes, I missed out that. They were beaten 3-0 by Leeds, the Friday kickoff game. So Aston Villa humbled, Leeds putting a tick in the win column. It's just crazy. I know it is still early days, viewers and subscribers, for the Premier League. We have not reached 10 games as yet. This is just number 6. Some teams would have played only 5 games. So it's kind of early to really call a winner. But based on what is happening, the competitiveness of the league, I am still going to make a call. So I will give a call after 10 games to see which team will be taking the Premier League. I have a team in mind, though. I have a team in mind. But for right now, I'm going to reserve giving my opinion until we have reached the 10th game. I will complete all of that. So we have been having some great football. You don't really see a team that is playing as sharp as they would want, because many teams probably didn't have a preseason lead up to the league because of how late the league ended. So that is kind of showing there. But nevertheless, we're looking for an exciting season in the English Premier League. One thing I can tell you, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be an entertaining season. It's going to be a great season. You know what I mean? So, who chiming in? Who chiming in? Yes, man. I want you to share the live. I want you to like up the live. Comment. Throw out your questions in the comment section. And we can go ahead and have a little talk where football is concerned. Yeah, man. So, Premier League is the league to watch. You know, if you go over to the La Liga, the interesting games that would be on would have been the El Clasico with Barca versus Real Madrid. There are so many derbies in the English Premier League. And you have the big names clash that are not derbies. You have the Chelsea versus Man U versus Liverpool, Man U versus Arsenal, Man U versus Tottenham, right across the top 6. And then you have the Leicester coming in, the Everton coming in, the newbie, the Leeds. You have the Aston Villa with a pretty good team. And on any given day, any team can beat you. So, big league, big league, big league. When they say we're playing a big league, we are talking about the English Premier League. You know what I mean? All right. So, who is on? I want to talk some football. Who do you believe is going to be the team that will take home the crown? Who will win the league? Who will win the league? Anybody want to jump in? You have fans of various clubs that will definitely highlight their team. But what say you? What say you? What say you? What say you? Viewers and subscribers, where are you? Where are you? Where are the football fans? Where this story with the youngster pass on is blowing up on the internet. I mean, young man, I can imagine what his parents are going through. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sad story. Sad story. And sometimes people are really going through stuff and you never know. But to hope that the family remains strong. And how can we tell them to remain strong in this tragedy? But these are some of the things that we have to say, huh? Yeah, people. Football fans them a hide. Football fans are hiding. Where are the footballing fans? Waiting on a call from my Arsenal friends, them, you know. Waiting on a call, waiting on a call. Yeah. Who is this person online? Bless up yourself. Who is this person online? Thank you for joining. Would you mind you at least say something in the comment section? Make a call. Give me a sec. I try call the Arsenal fan them, and none of them now answer them phone, no people. None of them now answer them phone at all, at all. Man, I tell you, if they had won that game, or even gotten a point from the game, I'm sure, I'm sure that they would have called or answered the phone. Let's see what can go on this. Them man, the pressure. So side when they side, they will lose, man. So yeah, man. Thanks to the people that were chiming. Come now, say something in the comment section now. Say something in the comment section. Say something in the comment section, man. Okay, we see who and we can big up. Thanks for coming on the live. We want to see who is on, man. Can have a discussion. Arsenal, man, them are hide people. They are hiding. Arsenal, man, them are hide. Hide. And if it was a certain side, who get killed, I tell you. Phone the answer already. Yeah. Yeah, people. So we just brag and boast today about the English Premier League, one of the most competitive league in the world. Yeah, man. And based on the results that are currently taking place in the league, we would say right now, top league, best league in the world right now in Europe. You know what I mean? Because you might have other leagues that are competitive, but and they are not highlighted because of whatever reason, whether it's monetary or something else. But the English Premier League right now is one of the best leagues in Europe, the most talked about league in Europe, the most watched league in Europe. You know what I mean? So big up to the persons who are joining us over here on the coach's desk, on YouTube. Big up yourself. Welcome if you're a first timer. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Yeah, we have some good content here on the channel. Yeah, some big interviews that would have done. So welcome to the coach's desk. You can share a comment in the comment section. Yeah, share a comment in the comment section so we can have a little conversation about what's happening. So people, share a comments in the comment section. Yeah, man, share a comment in the comment section. Yeah, people, just comment, man. Don't be shy. Comment in the comment section so we can see who are the fans that are on, which team are repping, which team are you repping. Which team are you repping? Yeah, man. Viewers and subscribers. Which team are you repping? Ball of them now, come on. Alright, look at me, I get a call. Hold on there. Alright, viewers and subscribers. So we have a virgin online, Romian Smith. Yeah. Very, very ardent Arsenal fan. And he's just gonna talk about what transpired in the Arsenal game today. Romian, welcome to the coach's desk.
Thank you. Thank you to have me. Good evening to all the listeners.
Yeah, man.
And all the subscribers, It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Big up yourself. So what happened at the Arsenal game today, man?
Well, first and foremost, let me start by acknowledging the result. It wasn't what we desired. We didn't get the desired result. However, some amount of credit must be given to the winner. I mean, based on my analysis and observation, our strikers that are poor in front of goal, and also our team look lackluster today. I think the team is lacking creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And when after watching this match, it just proved to me more and more that the decision to omit Ozil for political reasons is a bad one. Today was a match tailor-made for Ozil. Much like these, where you have the strikers are not having their best game, you need creative midfielders who will create several chances with the hope that they will take one. And Aubameyang, since the contract as farmers dipped somewhat, and we all know that Lacazette is going through a rough period, hence the productivity in front of goal is down for us now.
But Romian, let me jump in there, because there was many talks about this Thomas Partey addition to the midfield, and it would have been one of the creativeness that was also lacking through not using Ozil, right? So now that they would have added Thomas Partey in this game, because many Arsenal fans were craving for him to be included in the game. He has been included. So what really transpired there, where Partey is concerned?
For me, the signing of Partey is a very astute one. I give that an A. That's a good signing. However, I don't see Partey as a creative midfielder. Partey is one of those midfielders that is good at most things. For me, he's more of a holding midfielder. Hence, we need someone in front of him with a bit more flair, with a Ozil, a David Silva, or a James Rodriguez, one of those flair type players who will create several chances for you. What Partey good at? What Partey does is Partey will break up tackle, intercept, and he has the energy to get backs to backs.
Right.
In terms of going forward to be a top 4 team and also to challenge for titles, Thomas Partey is not a holding a creative midfielder. We can't look to Thomas Partey for that level of productivity. Else we're not going anywhere far. But it's a good addition.
Yes. Good addition. All right. Very good analysis there. Persons would say also, Romain, that Arsenal had a rough week. They had a game against Arsenal. They traveled to Europe for the Europa League. Sorry, against Man City, and they had a game in the Europa League, and it was a tough week for them. Do you believe that contributed to the lackluster performance, especially in the final third, or was it credit should be given to the Leicester team for playing a disciplined game? Because how they set out their plan, I believe they executed it to the T.
While that can be said, it can be said that the traveling is a factor, we also have to be fair. Leicester did travel in the week as well. Hence, it means that both sets of players could be said that both sets of players are leggy.
Right.
However, I do believe Leicester executed their game plan to the T.
Yes.
If we look at the impact of Jamie Vardy and the timing of Jamie Vardy, it was tailor-made for Jamie Vardy presence.
Right.
Arsenal didn't want after about 70 minutes is a striker with the lightning speed of Jamie Vardy running behind the defense, even after losing David Lewis, who we know plays better when the team shape with a three at the back.
Right.
And the very same thing that we didn't want is exactly what happened. Jamie Vardy proved once more again to be a nightmare for Arsenal. So I don't think it's down to that. I think it's also credit must be given to Leicester City for executing a wonderful game plan. In the first 45, they were very defensive, if I could say that. Arsenal dominated the first 20, 25 thereabout, and looked to be the team in the ascendancy who will go on to win this match.
But Romain, with the caliber strikers that Arsenal have, I know earlier you mentioned about since the signing of the new contract, since Lacazette might be having some challenges, but I believe that Arsenal has a very potent attack. But rightly you said that the lack of creativity to thread that discipline Leicester defense today was lacking in a very good Arsenal team, and the man that you probably missing out is Ozil. And I can't for the life of me understand why the coach has so much faith in Xhaka. What is it with Arteta and Xhaka?
Well, for me, I wonder the same thing. I mean, the coaches, they are the one who conduct training session on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
They are the one who try to execute the game as though they see it in terms of their philosophy and their ideologies. However, I do believe it's obvious to see that going forward, if Arsenal is to be serious title contender, for Arsenal to be consistent in the top four and to have any form of success in the Premier League, we'll definitely need an upgrade on Xhaka.
Mm-hmm.
If Xhaka, I don't believe that Arsenal can challenge for a Premier League title having Granit Xhaka playing 32 games. At least 32 games, starting out of the 38. I don't believe so. And my main reason for saying that is productivity-wise. Xhaka seems to play a lateral pass, a lot of sideways.
Right.
And Arsenal in the game today, what it needed was
penetration.
A player who can penetrate the offensive third. While we have a lot of possession, we didn't penetrate the offensive third.
Mm-hmm.
So even though the stats might show possession favorable enough,
but it was in their third.
Have to look at the defensive third.
Mm-hmm.
The possession, we didn't penetrate their defenses. So even though we created chance, we wouldn't say the chances are necessarily, all the chances are straightforward. However, having a midfielder, as I said before, Ozil caliber, and his A game, then you can guarantee that one thing with Ozil is that his strength is to penetrate the defense, the opposition defense. And also passing the ball with the right way. That's also a key element. We didn't get the service that we wanted in the wide areas. If you analyze the first half, Kieran Tierney struggled to put in some good crosses.
Right.
Crosses that would trouble the Leicester City backline. The crosses, they were easy to deal with. As a result, we didn't have a threat per se.
Mm-hmm. But
Arsenal definitely need creativity in the team.
I would agree with you. But one thing though, Romain, it is early days yet in the English Premier League. You know what I mean? I've always said that I normally use a 10 game to be my benchmark to see where teams are going. And that is still not a good benchmark in the English Premier League because, of course, I dub this discussion today as English Premier League is one of the best leagues in Europe. You know what I mean? So, knowing that it is early days, it's only 6 games gone, some teams would have played 5. Are you still thinking that your Arsenal team needs that creativity in the midfield, or are you going to give the coach a little time, being that he's probably trying to develop a type of pattern with this team?
By and large, I'm in agreement with most of what you just said. Let me acknowledge the first thing there.
Mm-hmm.
The Premier League, I do second with you that the Premier League is the toughest league in the world. One for its unpredictability.
Yes.
You will have the top team today lose, having a good run,
yes,
and they get beaten by the bottom team.
Yeah.
Rarely you will see that in Spain. And also, if you look at the German Bundesliga, that's a very one-sided league.
One-sided
league. For obvious reason, we don't have to go in that.
Right.
Now, the Premier League is the only league that I would say from all the top 5 leagues in Europe who can spring a surprise on any given day.
Any given day.
Say that compulsory or occasionally you don't have that in the other leagues, but not as
more frequent in the EPL.
It happens more frequently in the Premier League.
Right.
Now, as it relates to a 10-game analysis, that is fair enough. That is fair enough because that is enough time to analyze a team. However, I do believe 6 games can give you a great indication as to the capabilities of your midfield. And also, not necessarily only 6 games, but you have to remember that Granit Xhaka is not a new player. Ceballos is not a new player.
Right.
These are players where we'd have watched. Ceballos did an entire season last year. So we would have seen some of his productivity and know some of his capability. Granit Xhaka would have gone several seasons at Arsenal. So we have to be realistic. We can't just say the season new. You have to look at the continuous strength, what we've gotten from these players over the year. As I said, for me, Thomas Partey is an astute signing. It's a good addition to the team. I do believe in Thomas Partey. We have a world-class soul in midfield. I'll go out on a limb and use the word world-class because I believe he has the qualities.
Right.
He's good at most things. However, if you look at Arsenal midfield lack genuine creativity. Arsenal midfield without Ozil, with the omission of Ozil, lack creativity. And if you want to analyze the player individually, an Arsenal bench, if we should make substitution in midfield, Willian is more of a utility player. While Willian is versatile, again, you can't depend on Willian as a midfielder that you want to win a title with.
But Romain, the first game of the season, Willian did add some creativity to that Arsenal team, Hence why the coach probably got him because they didn't have Ozil in their plans. And for me, I personally believe it was a bad choice for Chelsea to sell him. Because the first game he had a buzz, he was creative, he had many touches on the ball. Remember, he was the one who created those goals for Arsenal, So in terms of having the player there, he is one that they should. I don't know why he wasn't used today because he played pretty well behind the strikers, and that's what the Arsenal team is craving for. Somebody with creativity who can shoot from distance, who can find some flair to make one of those critical passes to these potent strikers that you have. And I believe that he could have done that.
You made mention of the fact that Willian had a stellar performance in the game. For me, and this is my analysis of Willian, after watching Willian over the years,
yes,
throughout the season, if Willian managed to stay injury-free throughout the season, what you'll get is Willian impacting some games.
Right.
However, I don't believe that Willian is the answer for Arsenal going forward.
Fair enough.
Of a creative spark. I do believe Willian, though, can be a very good impact player for Arsenal. So if Mikel Arteta is depending on Willian to carry this team and also to provide the creative spark for the duration of 38 matches, then I do believe we are in trouble.
All right.
Arsenal definitely need to go in the transfer market. There were talks of, I don't know what will happen when the window reopen, but we definitely, since it's clear, it's obvious now for all to see that Ozil has no future at Arsenal. In that case, Arsenal definitely need to strengthen the transfer window, or else we are in serious trouble. This team, as much as though we have one of the more potent striker in Europe in Aubameyang, which his stats is there to prove it. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
We have seen this striker over the 5 years straight scoring upwards of 20 goals, which that productivity is only few strikers in the world giving you that return. However, even striker of that quality will struggle if they don't have genuine creativity.
Right, because most times he'd have to come deep to receive the ball, and that takes away from his natural game. Because there's nobody there to pass the ball to him.
As defender to set.
Right. So your assessment is pretty clear, there, Romain. You probably need to take a trip over there to England and speak to the management of the Arsenal.
I wish I had the power, because even with the omission or the sale of Martinez, it proves now. I am thinking that Bradley now seems to be getting a bit comfortable, and some more mistake is creeping into his game, and that's an area that need to be looked at as well.
Okay.
Bradley now is also making some costly error. It may not have cost us the result midweek, but what you'll find throughout the course of the season is that opposing striker will gain confidence, thinking that you are facing a goalkeeper who is uncertain.
Right.
If you notice today, Madison attempt to chip him about 3 or 4
Yes,
times.
yes, because he was off his line.
Off line. Yes. Also, but one of the reasons for that is thinking that a goalkeeper is vulnerable. Not saying that he wouldn't have done it against other goalkeepers now, but strikers are smart. They operate are attacking midfielders, and they know if an opponent is going through a bad spot, the coaches will tell them, target them. They are vulnerable, because we all know that confidence means a lot in sports.
Right.
And if one is suffering from a lack of confidence, then the games tend to fall. So there are little areas there that also Mikel Arteta need to be aware of. And I do believe that the sale of Martinez, which was a genuine threat for the number 1 spot, could be a factor in Bradley now conceding our level of fall below the required standard.
It doesn't have any competition right now.
Exactly.
Right, and that sometimes cause players to be comfortable in their position when they know that the position is not complacent. Right.
The game is sure.
No
matter what the result.
So, looking on your entire analysis of your team, in terms of going forward, we know we have another 32 games to go. What is your prediction for your team this season? Is it a top 4 finish, or is it
at the start of the season? My objective or my gut feeling is that Arsenal could finish anywhere between 3rd or 4th. And my reason for saying that this season seems to be an unpredictable one, and the stats is showing us already. Chelsea is going through a transitional phase in terms of they have signed a number of players. However, they are still searching for chemistry. Because in my opinion, I don't think Lampard knows his best 11 as yet.
No.
If you watch Chelsea, you can see that's a coach who is jostling, and players are jostling for position and feeling out, and the coach is still searching in terms of his back 4.
Because he has defensive challenges, yes.
Exactly. So Chelsea is vulnerable. Tottenham under Mourinho, Harry Kane looking good form and Sang. Offensively, they look potent as well. But I still believe there are weakness in Tottenham game, and I don't think Tottenham team is their squad is as big as persons are making it out to be. I don't believe an injury to Harry Kane change the entire dynamics of Tottenham. So Manchester United is also going through a phase in terms of they have defensive frailties. While they have good players going forward, Man U, I don't think Maguire and Lindelof will pose serious threat to a title challenging team. For me, I'm not a Man U fan, but I do believe Man U need a proper centre half.
Yeah, man, that's obviously clear.
So those are some of the factors that would impact my thoughts in terms of making my prediction for ourselves.
So what about the Everton team, the Aston Villa team?
I don't believe over the course of the season Everton will be a top 4 team. Well, they have a good start. And it's clear to see. If you analyze this Everton team without the immediate impact of James Rodriguez, this Everton team is really an ordinary team. What was there before? What is making the difference now? and we can't discard that, or we can't discount them, is really the goal scoring prowess of
Calvert-Lewin,
and also the impact of James Rodriguez. I don't believe it is sustainable over the. I believe that James Rodriguez will be found out, and before more or less he will have impacts on game, but not as how he's having now. Defense coaches, this is the Premier League. Coaches are smart.
Yeah.
Defense are smart. Tackles will be flying in, and Purser will be man mark and so forth. So I don't believe this Everton team is happening with them now. I don't think they'll be able to sustain this. Hence, I don't see them as a challenge to the top four.
You know, I predict them this season to cause some problems. I did not predict them to be in the top four, but I predict them to cause some problems. Reason being, they have a very good manager in Ancelotti.
True.
Right? Very, he's a big coach. Can't take that away from him. Proven winner, right? But with the competitive nature of the Premier League, like I said, you have the Southampton team beating them 2-0. So it could be a case where they probably take a break or they dip form. How is he going to motivate them? I know that he's a world-class coach and he's able to do these things, because more time these coaches just try to motivate the players, keep them motivated, try to work a system of play and so forth. So the work is cut out mainly in terms of managing the players, motivating them. So I believe I can recall when Leicester had their stellar season, dream season. So I'm not ruling out this Everton team. But then again, like I said, I'll give my final analysis on the season when I've seen another 4 games, which leads up to 10. Then I'll know where these teams lie in terms of their stretch of run throughout. Because sometimes all they need is a good start, you know.
Well, I understand where you're going, but for me, Leicester title charge and also Premier League victory or Premier League, that Leicester Premier League season, I do believe that was a one-off. I don't see this Everton team replicating that. And I'll just be honest, it's not about pouring cold water on Everton, but I don't see that replicating. That was just destiny for me. That's a one-off. Not when you have Liverpool, even though we know that Liverpool are a wounded animal. No. Because we know that the absence of Van Dijk changed things.
Change the whole dynamics of a Liverpool team.
Change the whole dynamics, change prediction. Teams no longer see them as that immovable object in front of them. Persons will look at it and say that I can get at Liverpool defense.
Right.
We can get at the 2 fullbacks who like to up the pitch.
Right.
Also, if you look at Liverpool team, Fabinho is not necessarily a conventional centre-half. Fabinho is what we deem as a makeshift centre-half. So strikers will feel a bit more confident going into some match now before the transfer window. I think the mindset of Liverpool is either outscoring me, because my defense is not as solid as it used to be. And I'm not discarding the players, not saying that the others, it's only Van Dijk. No, I don't believe no one man. But one player do make a big difference. And we see that. We can allude to Sergio Ramos with Varane as to Varane without Sergio Ramos. That can also use to validate my claim.
Right.
That Rafael Varane look a total different player with Sergio Ramos as to without Sergio Ramos.
Right. But Romain,
that is.
One of the things though, you know, we have to look at a number of teams or several teams in the English Premier League would have different competitions been participating, because you have top teams like the Liverpool, the Man City, the Man United. They will be playing Champions League. They will be playing the League Cup. They will be playing the FA Cup. So it's gonna be a lot of football playing. And
that is true. Also, the top teams are the teams who have the bigger budget.
And
even though we are in a COVID, we are in a pandemic now, we still have to factor that.
Right.
You spoke about Aston Villa. While Aston Villa is on a good run now, Aston Villa can't go in the transfer market from say January and buy a player for 90 million. Liverpool can do that. They have the purse.
Right.
So even though we are analyzing on the field, we have to look at the impact of the transfer market and what teams like Man U can do.
Right,
how much teams think about how much team in the Premier League can buy a player like Van der Beek and not necessarily need them or using them. If a team like Aston Villa spend that amount of money, then you know immediately then that player is guaranteed starting time. That's a starter.
Mm-hmm.
So the transfer window will play a factor. Because even though City are going through a phase, I don't believe if Liverpool fail to replace Van Dijk properly, I don't see them retaining the league. I just don't see it.
I beg to differ still. I beg to differ because if I was going right off right now to call a winner of the league, I definitely would have Liverpool retaining the title. It might not be the stretch of win like they had last season or by the amount of points, but I do believe that things have come a little closer, especially with the absence of Van Dijk. But Liverpool is still the team to beat. Still the team to beat.
I'm not going to rule out Liverpool, as I said, because you have to also remember that the addition of the rolling midfielder from Bayern Munich is also a very good player.
Thiago
Alcantara is also
very good player.
So there's strength in their midfield. However, I do believe that for one, City has the money to buy their way out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And we must factor that. And also, City, for me, at this point, still have I would say, the deepest squad in the Premier League.
Yes.
Even though they have defensive issues.
Mm-hmm.
What City lack is that pace, that trust. And a lot of persons are downplaying it. But I do believe City lost some of their momentum with the sale of Leroy Sané. Leroy Sané, for me, gives City something else. No other player.
Pace.
In terms of that pace.
Mm-hmm.
And also that accuracy, dribbling with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Mahrez has potential and can do that in flashes, but Leroy Sané on top of his game and seeing what he's doing at Bayern Munich now, and we have seen it. It was just unfortunate that injury ruined some of his career, and we didn't see it after.
Right.
I do believe the last time.
Mahrez is not.
Sterling not in the best form. Aguero struggling with injury.
Mm-hmm.
So City is not the team. But I do believe over the 38 years they'll figure it out and they'll come good.
So you're saying that they're your number one.
Well, for me, I give them the slight notch over Liverpool, and I said the tilt with the injury of Van Dijk. I must say that the injury of Van Dijk. For me, if Van Dijk were there, injury free,
mm-hmm.
with the addition of Thiago, Liverpool would be my outright favorite. But for me, Van Dijk is not important to Liverpool.
Yeah, because
I think Van Dijk guarantee you at least an extra 9 points. And by that I mean there are games where he will stamp his authority over that game and he will say Van Dijk was a man mountain at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Vital cross, last minute that should lead to a draw or a win. Van Dijk. So I think Liverpool lose some of that.
And he gives them some offensive options as well when it comes down to the corners and the crosses. So
the ball in terms of corners.
Right.
So I do believe Liverpool not only lost on the defensive third, but also on the offensive third. And we have to look at psychologically. We have to look at it. Players, the offensive player, they know that there's a sense of security behind them.
Right.
They have the best player on the field.
So they move tentative.
It is affected. Players will know tentative that they'll see each other in training and they'll know that Van Dijk is so defense is not so strong. So if I go, I might have to think about coming. Our players won't go. Our coaches will tell them to stay and stuff like that. So psychologically, it will be playing on their mind, especially going up against the top teams. The top teams will feel like we have gained ground. Yeah,
because what that does also remain is that it disturbs the natural play. Because if for example, Alexander Arnold is always overlapping, but new tactics is that you have to go up and down because of the absence of Van Dijk, then that might disturb his natural game of normally staying up, whipping in the cross, and not able to run back as quickly as possible. But you'd have to change that thought process.
very good point, and that in itself refers to chemistry, the
Right.
chemistry of the team that might affect the chemistry and also the balance of
Right.
it. So we can't overstate that. It's very important. And it's the reason why I said City is my slight favorite, even though they are going through a phase right now. What do you believe they'll? And as I said, for me, the head-to-head will give us a great indication of what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
As this is a season of great uncertainty.
True.
I can assure that we'll have a lot more surprises because no one had expected Aston Villa and Liverpool result to be that. No one had expected Man U and Tottenham result to be that.
Right.
So, right, that in itself, those are some of the. Even today, Everton was overwhelming favorite based
Right.
on what had transpired thus far. And we could see, and anybody who watched this today match and also fair enough could say that they were the deserving winner. Southampton were the deserving winner. In fact, Southampton in the first half, they dominated. They created the chances. They were the team with the cutting edge. And hence they are victorious.
But I'm wondering if that was as a result of that player there getting the red card last match. Because Richarlison, because they know that one player you mentioned earlier, that one player can really disturb a team's chemistry, momentum. So with his I think he plays in front of the defense, and with his influence, his height and so forth in front of the defense, that might probably throw off the Everton game. But knowing Ancelotti and him being the coach that he is, I don't really think that is the issue. But I'm just looking at something to point out that would have probably caused them to lose momentum there.
While that may be the case, as a team, you have to think about situation or circumstances like that through the course. So it's the coach and the board now make decision or responsibility to make preparation to have a big squad to mitigate for injuries and so forth. Because it can't be said or should not be used as an excuse to say the loss of one player out for, say, a 3-game, a straight red card. Because a straight red card means automatic suspension for 3 days.
Right.
And for me, any serious Premier League team should be able to cope for 3 games without one of your best players or without your main player. If a Premier League team can't cope with that, for me, that team can't be considered a title contender or a top 4 contender. And so if that's the case, that's serious worrying sign for Everton. Because we have to think about injury. I mean, it may not necessarily be a red card. It could be an hamstring out for 2 weeks or for 2 months. If you can't replace that player, can't cope with that player, then it means that your squad isn't big enough. And it means then that you are not properly prepared to be a title contender or a top 4.
And depth is important in the English Premier League because of the amount of football that is played.
Very important, because a lot of you have to remember the FL Cup, the FA Cup, and also. So there are various competitions. You need squad depth and you need squad players to rotate, so your best players can play the most importantly. Everton for me is a top 6-ish side. I'll give them the top 6. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt when they come out.
So who would they replace?
Well, the top 6 for me, you're looking at teams like Wolves. Also Everton. Also Wolves, Everton, Leicester. Those are teams for me who I would consider just off the top 4. And you have to remember that you have, for me, for the season, I have Man City first, Liverpool second. 3rd and 4th is up for grab.
Fair enough.
So those are the teams I would say. So for me, 3rd and 4th is between Tottenham, Arsenal, Man U, and Chelsea. For me, those are the teams who will fill the top 6. So Everton is top 6-ish, they are about 6-7, they are about. I don't see them breaking into the top 4. I just don't see that. Persons are getting carried away with the early start. But as I rightly said before, it's early days. And we have to remember that it's 38 match.
So we have another 32 to go.
Exactly.
Whole lot of football.
We'll get injured player, we'll get red card, a lot of twists and turns. Also, one of the things that I do believe is contributing to the unpredictability of the season is also the fact that there are no fans.
Right.
So this home crowd,
yeah,
that mitigate for the home crowd. There seems to be no home crowd advantage. So persons are coming to us, teams are coming to Emirates and stuff. We have to fear 60,000 Arsenal.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just you and me.
Because very important point there, Romain, because in his post-match interview, Ole said that he believes that if the fans were in the stands, they would have urged on that Manchester United team to at least eke out a win against this Chelsea team in the game there on the weekend. So the fans are truly missing from these games. And we can see where it also happened in basketball. But we're not talking about basketball, but the fans are critical when it comes down to home advantage in any sport. So yes, the fans are missing where that aspect of the game is concerned, because the fans they know how to get into the psyche of the players and also the psyche of the opponents.
That's a fair point by Olga Social, because if we look at, and it would be a foolish man to dismiss that statement.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the history of Man U over the years, Man U is known, Manchester United is known for scoring late goals to snatch victory from the jaws of draw or defeat. So we know that. So definitely having the crowd behind you of 70,000 strong at Old Trafford willing on. What it does is help fuel the player with the extra adrenaline that they need. The boots and also to build the confidence. And also the reverse of that, it has sometimes have a negative impact on players who are suffering from confidence.
Right.
Imagine a Kepa in goal. Facing a free kick with a minute or so to go.
Yeah.
And you have 50,000 or 70,000 in the team in the stadium shouting goal. And that in itself will
get into his head.
Psychological impact. So I understand. I do understand where he's coming from in saying that. I do believe past history has justified that. So I have no problem with that.
Yeah, man, it's a fair assessment from him. But sometimes the fans don't really look into those deep aspects of the game, because definitely the fans play a vital part in urging on the team to get that one goal back for a draw, or to get that one goal for the go-ahead, or to discourage the opponent in such a way that they will probably lose the ball, and anything can happen from there. So good assessment there from the manager, Ole. So, Romain, anything we leave out? Because this has been a very wholesome discussion. Yeah, we lost Romain there for a bit, but definitely he would have touched some very critical points that we would have spoken about here on the coach's desk. So we give thanks to Romain for passing through. Very analytical voice there. He's a Arsenal fan. The whole world know now. He has never hidden it though. But good voice to have here on the coach's desk with us today. So kudos and big up to Romain for joining us on the coach's desk. Yeah, man. So definitely it was a good weekend of football. Still have 2 more games to go tomorrow. The Monday afternoon games will be played from 12:30 Jamaica time. So more football to come. More. Yes, Romain.
Yes, coach, listen. I lose feed just then.
Yeah, man, I realized that the connection got disconnected just a bit.
Power outage just then.
Okay. Seems like JP is having an issue where where that is concerned due to the inclement weather.
The inclement weather,
right,
that,
right.
That seems to be an issue because I think we lost power about 3 times per day, but it doesn't last. It's
Okay, okay.
For a minute or less.
All right, I was just asking if there was any other thing that you'd want to add to the discussion.
Well, I know you are already set the team in terms of where you want this discussion to go, but I think one of the most obvious discussion or the most topical issue right now is that of VAR.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, yeah, we can discuss that a bit, man.
We have seen where VAR is playing is having a major impact in this year's Premier League. Very, very interesting one. VAR. I mean, just a few days I was just texting one of my manual friends saying that I want to VAR a bar.
Yeah, look. But
because I mean, there are several reasons. I mean, one of the one that the ongoing one that person still can't get over is that of
Harry Maguire.
Van Dijk. No, not Harry Maguire. It's just yesterday we don't reach to Harry Maguire, but also Pickford and Van Dijk.
Oh yes.
Which for me, my take on it is while it is a reckless tackle, I don't believe that Pickford meant to injure him or to try and end
nothing intentional there.
And it should just be a red card, service suspension, and that's it. We have to remember that over the
but Romain, sorry to cut you. The whole essence though, you know, of VAR in that particular situation was to decide if it was a penalty. So if he had gotten a red card, then definitely it would have been a penalty.
That's where I'm going. So a lot of persons don't understand the interpretation or what is happening or what caused this feeling to linger so long is that persons don't understand the interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that what they are saying from the referee's point of view is that they are saying that the fact that it wasn't a penalty or it had ruled offside. Hence the reason why they didn't use VAR twice in terms of making a decision as to whether it was a reckless tackle or not.
Mm-hmm.
However, even though based on the law, even if it was an offside, the referee still has the latitude or the willpower then, the wits, to check the decision to see if it was if the opponent was being harmed or in danger based on the nature of the tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why persons are up in arms because what happened, it was just ruled offside and Jordan Pickford wasn't awarded a red card. He didn't send off. And person wanted Jordan Pickford to be sent off, which in truth and in fact he should have. And, and based on the result of the injury now, persons are up in arms. There are persons going as far as to say that Pickford should be out for as long as Van Dijk is out, which that is just emotional overreaction.
Yeah.
We know over the years, we could go back to Arsenal and Eduardo, one of the most dangerous Brooklyn league, I would say.
Yeah. That was a nasty one.
Yes, that was, I mean, the tibia and the fibula was broken.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the two bones that would connect to the ankle. So basically, his foot was just rolled up by a sock.
Mm-hmm.
We could also go back to Ramsey and Burnham. So over the years, we see these sort of tackles. It's just unfortunate and persons are reacting. But I think what they need to do, VAR need to consult more with the on-field official in terms of the referee. It left a bit of taste in the mouth when the technology is there and it is not being utilized and that properly, and that was the case with virtual Van Dijk. Because persons are saying then, why have it if you're not going to use it? Or is it a case where the persons who are using don't know how to apply the law? So it's one of two things.
Because
that was seen again with Harry Maguire, which was a blatant penalty, and again the referee didn't utilize VAR to check the decision.
But my addition to this whole VAR thing, in a Romain, is that over the years we have had on-field referee making some crucial calls that would have cost teams games, right? They would have also added the VAR trying to mitigate some of the circumstances that would have caused team games. But one thing I'm not understanding if the fans are really seeing that the VAR, the screens that are set up, it doesn't work automatically or automatedly. It work there's someone who sits behind those screens, and these are the same persons who are making the decision, and the decisions are sometimes against your team. So what I'm saying, the VAR is making mistakes because of the human elements behind it. Same thing with the referees on the field. The referees on field will make bad decision because of the human element. So anyway you take it, you're gonna have issues.
Interpretation of the rule, interpretation of the law, because persons are thinking that it's just a technology that they create a technology and make the decision. No, that's not true. The technology is controlled or it's run by man.
Yes.
It comes down to the referee, the standing referee on the field. However, I do believe that proper consultation now will reduce the number of wrong decisions or incorrect calls.
But Romain, look at it this way. If you notice, there are instances where they would call the infield referee to come at the sideline to look at a monitor. But that is not done in every case. And that is something that...
The reason for that is, if that is done in every case, what they are saying is that it will take away from the pace of the game. The game will be disrupted. Even though VAR is there, the objective of VAR is to make the correct decision and to make it as quick as possible. So if in the referee's interpretation, a decision can be made without using the technology, then the referee will start to do that, because in the referee training, what they urge the referee to do is to get on with the game.
Right.
And if they are going to use VAR, try and make the decision as fast as possible.
And that was why the Manchester United game was blown off, and then a decision came after. And persons out there are making a lot of noise, but the VAR is kind of taken away from the game when you look at it differently still, And it is also, there's no education out there for even some of the fans. They don't understand why VAR make a decision, why that one was even the handball decision. Many persons don't know that there's an adjustment with the handball rule. So there are a lot of things that
is true. Yeah, that is true, because the interpretation of the handball rule is far different from what it was.
Yeah.
And hence the reason why persons are saying that a lot of calls is soft, but the referee are trained to interpret the law and to execute the law particular way. So they are doing their job. If persons noticed before, last season, think about a handball leading up to a goal to say about 3 or 4 passes back. That goal would have been ruled out. Now, if the call is made here and then, say 3 and 4, and it does immediately impact the goal, then that call will stand. So these are some little tweaks that I think what is one of the reasons why we are having such outcry now is that interpretation of the law.
Interpretation.
Fans are not understanding.
And they are not updated with the new rules.
They are not updated. So I also believe that it's also the Premier League Association duties. Maybe they could create commercial and so forth to educate the fans. So these are things that they probably could look at in seminars and so forth, because you have to remember that VAR take away some of the human element. Because I am also a big fan of human making mistake on field.
Of course.
However, the reality about it is that when it's against your team, I mean, it leaves a bit of taste in the mouth, and I'm sure Lampard will have something to say that. Just if memory serve right, I'll go back to Lampard against Germany. A clear goal that was,
But when you look at it, Romain, VAR was checking a dribble that Rashford was making, and Thiago clipped his foot and he fell. VAR was making a check for that to see if it was a penalty, But yet they did not check the Harry Maguire and pull it down the player.
And these are the double standard that it come back down now to interpretation. What the referee sees as worthy to check or what the referee sees as otherwise. So even though the technology is there, persons need to remember that the technologies are run by men. And as a result, humans will make error. Whether we think it is a personal bias against a team, that's another story. That's debatable. However, it still comes down as human error. Because there's no, for me, the straight up, the Harry Maguire call that should have been checked by VAR. Just in case then. It's almost finished just in case, just to be on the safe side. And also, and the flip side of this too, whether we like it or not, these VAR, what VAR does, it also gives us a lot of things to discuss. So VAR is giving us topical issues.
Right.
Whether we see it as negative or positive, it keeps us talking from week to week. Last week it was the Van Dijk. This week it is the Harry Maguire. So what the VAR does, it fill you with stuff to discuss, at the barbershop and workplace, various places still. So it's as if VAR is replacing the crowd.
Right.
So think about it. Might sound a bit negative.
Psychologically, it might be working.
Exactly. Might not be the way in which you want it to work, but VAR is definitely having an impact thus far.
And one thing I know too is also that sometimes spectators feel as if they know the game more than the referee, or they know the system more than even VAR. And as I said, sometimes that gives them a topical thing to discuss. So, but sometimes fans behave like we know the game more than even the referee that is on the field, and that sometimes cause. Yeah.
So we see that persons who never kick a ball and say Messi make a bad pass, him not good him right now. So these are fans will always be fans. Now we have to remember that. I mean, they are the best player, they are the best referee, they are the best analysts. But that is just fans. So we can't compete with them. That is also a part of what made the game such a great spectacle. As fans will have their say, irrespective of the result.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Romain, I'll cut the show right now, and just thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for joining us online. It was a wholesome discussion. We heard your views. You have some very good views. We respect your opinion here on the coach's desk. So we were happy that you stopped by to give us your insight on your team, Arsenal, and more so the whole VAR and the whole Premier League being the most competitive league in the world, in Europe. You know what I mean? So big up yourself. You'll be hearing from me more because we have to do this again, my friend.
Not a problem. My respect. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, man.
Feel free. As long as I'm available, I'll add what value I can to your program. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. And just for the fans also share, like, and subscribe. Let the program grow.
All right. Thank you very much, my friend. Have a good afternoon. So, viewers, there we had Romain Smith, Arsenal fan, stopping by to share his thoughts on the biggest league in the world, the EPL, biggest league in Europe, most competitive league in Europe. So, it was a good discussion, shared some insights on his team, Arsenal, spoke about some other teams in the Premier League. We spoke about the Everton and the Aston Villa team, and those are teams to watch in the Premier League. But he's saying that these teams will not break into the top 4. So, viewers and subscribers, thanks again for joining Coach's Desk today, where we spoke about the English Premier League. It was a very good afternoon with the viewers and subscribers with Romain Smith. And thanks for joining. So, if you are new to the program, please remember to hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so when we drop these videos, you'll be the first to know that these videos are on. You know what I mean? Share the videos, like the videos, and continue to be a member of the Coaches Desk family. And remember to tell a friend about the Coaches Desk. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Stay dry.